welcome to Christy's Stampin' Spot. I'm Christy. I'm an independent demonstrator, and I have a fun pair of cards for you guys today. We're going to be using the Reflected in Nature stamp set that's from the July to December mini catalog. I love this stamp set because it's so versatile. I can use it for masculine cards, everyday vacation cards, as well as retirement cards. It's really pretty. So, really excited. So let's get started, and let me put you guys down. Awesome. Okay, so these are the two cards that we're going to make today. Now, if you go to my website at christysstampingspot.com, you can find the tutorial. My blog posts for these are already up, so you can find the tutorial on these already. I just love this paper and the stamp set. So this is the stamp set. It's called Reflected in Nature. Oh, you know what? I forgot. I totally forgot to put my lights on. Hold on 1 second. See all my baby Yodas in the background? There we go. It's like, ooh, that doesn't look right. There we go. There was not as much. There we go. Now you can actually see me. The Reflected in Nature. It's a gorgeous set. I really like it. The May your journey take you to many new and exciting places. Breathe deep. Each day is an adventure. Take time for you. It's just a really pretty, and it's a single. That's a big single image, and then the little eagle is also a single image. We're actually going to use for these two cards every piece of the stamp set today. I realized as I was putting them on the blocks before I got it, I was like, oh, I used it all. I love this set. It's so great. So you can find it in the mini catalog on page 60, and it is right here. So it's such a pretty, and it is distinctive. So that means if when you're stamping it and the ink is pooling too much and it's not giving you the best image that you want, you can use the edge of your bone folder to smooth out the ink a little bit on your ink pad and then try stamping it. That sometimes helps, but I really love these distinctive images. They're gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. So you can see that on page 60. And you can find the DSP that we're using, the Designer Series paper, for both of these cards, is this gorgeous Beauty of the Earth 12 by 12. So this is like a great paper pack for all the time, but really awesome for fall. I love this. And this sheet right here is one of my favorites in the pack, and that's actually what we're going to use today. So I'm going to show you another way to use it. I have done a couple of cards of it in the past with this sheet. I pulled them. So this one I actually used the die cut that's from the stamp set and dies that match, and then put it and used it as a background. And then on this one, for a simple stamping, I just stamped at the top of that gorgeous piece of Designer Series paper, and then I just stamped the trees onto the DSP as well to make a very pretty simple stamping card. So this is a really great versatile pack paper, and this one that we're going to use today is gorgeous. And then we're also going to use another piece from that pack as well. If you go onto my website and find this blog post, they will be linked in the description of this video. And it's up, I think it's like the first post too. It's up on my website. There are two different ways you can print this out. You can print it with pictures, which will have pictures of the supplies as well as of making the projects. Or you can print it out just with the instructions. It does have one picture. So there's the picture. It says like with pictures or without pictures. That's what that means. But these are all hot links. So when you pull up the PDF on your computer, you can click it, and it will take you to those products in my online store. And at the top is the measurements, where you guys can, and then the instructions are at the bottom. Okay, so the piece of the 12 by 12 that we use, now this is a half of it. The other half is this way. You actually cut your 12 by 12 to 6 by 6. So you just cut it down the middle of your 12 by 12 to 6 by 6, and you get a piece like this. And actually, that's how I actually cut out the paper that I used for the front of this card. So this is a fun fold. It's a simple fun fold, but so it's if you haven't had a lot of experiences with fun fold, this is a great one to start with because it's kind of fun, but not so super complicated. And when you cut out, you don't have to, with this pattern it's not as important, but with some of the patterns, when you cut out your paper, I'll show you how I cut out my paper so that they can match across the panels too. And then we're going to put a big panel on the front so you don't really see how well it matches, but if you use this design with different designer series papers, it might make more of a difference. So I will definitely show you guys how you do that. So get out my little So for this card, we're going to use the Misty Moonlight ink, and we're using basic white, the images, a nice envelope, and then here's that DSP. But first we need to do is cut our card base. So the card base is like a regular, so this is our 8.5 by 11, and I've cut it at 8.5, and it's 5.5, and I've scored it at 4 1/4. Right, so it's like the normal book, and we're gonna do it we're gonna have it landscape, and we're gonna actually cut at 1 inch and then at 4 1/2, or an inch on each side, however makes it easier for you. So let me pull up my paper trimmer here, and like I said, I've already cut it. So now I'm just going to cut your front panel, and I'm going to do it at 1. So I'm glad I set it away. I'm going to cut it at 1, and I'm going to just cut it down to the score line. Right, so as soon as you got that lined up, you score it down to, so it'll be 4 1/4 or to your, which is where your score line is. It's a little bit easier to see when you have your score line, and then it's at 4 1/2, which is 4 1/2, and then again I'm going to score it down, or not score it, I'm going to cut it down to the 4 1/4, which is your score line. I'm assuming not the glare. Just like that. So you have the pieces just like this. Alright, so now I need my cutter. Set that aside. Okay, so then what I'm going to do is you're just going to glue these two flaps down. So just take your glue. So make sure you've got it so your, so it's really well, with the bone folder, make sure you've got it nice and crisp here so that its edges are to the edge. There we go. And then just add some glue. And we're just going to glue these flaps down and stuff. We're not going to cut them off, we're just going to glue them down. Glue them straight down so they're on the inside panel, right? So they're glued to the back. Inside panel. And add some more glue. This side. Glue them down. Just like that. Yay. So cute, so cute. So there you go. So now we have our base done of our card. Now let's put my glue away, and now let's cut. I'll bring my cutter back in, and I'm going to cut the designer series paper. So I'm going to go ahead So you want it to be about 1/8 smaller. So these are 1 inches. So I want to make them 7/8 of an inch. So I'm going to cut the 7/8 inch panel. And then this one is 3.5. Actually, I wrote this down to make sure I have the right amount. Yeah. Oh wait, no, it's 3 3/8. So let me make sure before I cut. Pretty sure I've got it right. Yes. 3. So it's 3 3/8. So I'm going to go and 1, 2, 3. And cut my panel. And then I'm going to cut the other off the same edge, the 7/8 again. That way, so it doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter as much with this designer series paper, but with some of the other patterns, it does matter. So I just wanted to show you guys that you just do it that way. And then it's 4 1/8 is when I'm going to cut this, and I want more of the white because we're going to stamp at the top. So I'm going to go ahead and cut at 4 1/8 here, and here, 4 1/8. We're actually then, after I cut this piece, 4 1/8, then I'm going to actually cut on the same extra piece. I'm going to do 1 inch, a 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch, so that I'm going to use these for the back of my card. So like that, and like that. I have a little extra. And then what did I do with my other panel? Here it is. Again at 4 1/8. Just like that. Way good. Okay, so now it's all extra. Out of the way. Okay, so then we can glue these down. But before I glue it down, I want to stamp on my middle piece here. I'm going to stamp the Take Time for You and the eagle. This is just easier before it's on an extra piece of cardstock. And then if somehow you mess up, you don't have to, if you mess up, you can always add a piece of Whisper White on top, or Basic White on top. But since we're stamping directly on, it's just easier to do it before you add it to your, card base. Okay, so this is the Take Time for You. And I'm just going to use the Misty Moonlight, and I'm just going to do it right up here at the top, just like that. And then I'm going to stamp the eagle over here on the other side. Flying down, just like that. Again. And then we close my ink. And we're going to go ahead and add it to our card front. So when, let's see, I moved all these things. I don't remember where it went. So first I will set it down, make sure I have it going the right way. And it's this way, I think. Yep. So you can see that that's the continual pattern there. Just want to make sure I got it the right way. And then you're just going to use your glue and add these panels of designer series paper, TSP panels, right here. And I like glue. You can use any of your favorite adhesives. I like glue because it gives me a little bit of wiggle room, so I can get it in there as even as I can. I'll do the other side. So pretty. These are so cute. I really like the sentiments. I love Misty Moonlight. So I realized we're coming up on, it's going to be so quick before then. In July we'll have the new, I think it's June? No, May. May we'll have the new catalog, the new annual catalog, which means we'll get new in colors, and we're going to have to say goodbye to Misty Moonlight. I don't want to. I love this color. I thought Pretty Peacock was hard, but man, it's like this one's also. It's going to be hard to say goodbye because I love it so much. Okay, and then I'm going to add my big panel in the center. That on there just like that. Look at that, isn't that pretty? Oh, it's pretty. This designer series paper is just so pretty, even by itself. Even before we add our pretty other piece. Okay, so I'm actually going to we're going to fussy cut out our sentiment. So I want to make sure I have the right one. Now that I can't remember if it's the bigger one or the smaller one. Oh yeah, okay, so this is the bigger one. This is going to be our inside letter layer. And then I have this one that I'm going to use to stamp my image. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and use my Stamparatus. You don't have to use your Stamparatus for this. You can use your, use your block. But I'm having trouble with my hand today. So I thought I might as well just use my Stamparatus. And just be careful when you get your fabulous cling stamp set that you're looking for the little reverse. Then you know that that's the side that goes on. For which was it, the one that's in one of the hostess ones. I actually put it on upside down. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and line it up on the lines for this one. Actually, you know what I should do? I should do it like that, but because it's so close, I'm just going to put it on the other line. Use my magnet to hold it down. And set this down on here. Sure, I don't get too close. That. And then pick it up. And this way I can get a good inked image. I have trouble with my hand today. So I want to make sure you get this nice and well inked. Like I said, I'm using my Misty Moonlight. Get nice and inked. And then I'm going to go ahead, put that on. Oh my gosh. Okay, look. Ooh, I didn't get it, pat it down enough on that edge, and that ink is still there. One of the great things about the Stamparatus, look, there it goes. Now it's fine. It's beautiful. If you're having trouble with your hands, works good. And since you think though, since I broke my wrist, it would be my wrist, but sometimes my fingers really give me a hard time. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and just wipe this down. I have cut my simple chamois in half, and I have it set on one of these little cute little platforms that my husband made me with his 3D printer, and I keep both of them right on top of each other. And the chamois really dries out quick here in southern Arizona, so having them both together on top of each other really helps. But I really like using the chamois, especially with it cut in half, to use my Stamparatus. So I'll go ahead and use this again on the other projects. But now that I've got this one out, I'm just going to take my paper snips, and I'm going to cut this out really quickly. And you don't have to be like super careful. I'm using a little bit of the white line around it and kind of keeping that little bit of waviness there. Just a little bit of wavy with the image. And then if you don't want to cut it down, you can always just trim with your paper trimmer. I just really like the waviness of it. Doop. And there we go, just like that. Muy bien. Trash can. Alright, well again, that's all. Now we will take it and add it to our card front, and we need some Stampin' Dimensionals. And I'm going to put 5 on there. I know it's always a big debate on how many Stampin' Dimensionals. I like a lot of Stampin' Dimensionals or little, but because this is a big surface area, I wanted to make sure that it's on there nice and steady, and then it doesn't poof in the middle. Just like that. And then just put that down there. Layer that on. Just like that. Muy bien. How cute is that? And then we need to do our inside layer. So in our inside, I actually use the Breathe Deep. So it says, take time for you, breathe deep. So let's see, where's my Breathe Deep? Here's my Breathe Deep. And so this one I'm just going to use and on my block. And if you're ever unsure of how it's going to look, you can always test it on your designer series paper first, or your scratch paper. Make sure you have it orientated the right way. Go, breathe deep. And I'm actually going to turn it over on the back and do the same. Add Breathe Deep on the back. So I don't like it when it's naked. And then I'm going to go ahead and close this. Put my stuff in the ink. And then I'm going to add those little strips that I saved out that we cut after we cut the middle. And we're just going to add that. We put one on the back, just like this, in the middle. And then we're going to put one on the inside right here. Just like that. And then we're going to add it to our, my son just says, bless you. And add this to inside. And all the measurements for this is up on my website already, and it has a printable, like I said, printable PDF. Oh, love. There we go. How adorable is that? Now, I can add. Do I have that here? I might have actually moved that out of the way, didn't I? Oh, I think I did. Usually I have my little thing with the Stampin' Up! Logo here, so I can just do it right away. Because I always forget if I don't do it like right as I'm doing it. But I do want to add the eagle. I forgot to add the eagle to the middle. I love that. We can bring that little image, and if you really want to, you can also add it to the inside of your card too. But also, you can add it to your envelope. So I'm actually going to take, I think I'll do the Breathe Deep on the front, and then my eagle. Then we can add the eagle on the back too. Just like that. So now we have a matching envelope. Now if you get the card kit, you'll get all of the pieces, but I'm not going to include a Wink of Stella. But if you have a Wink of Stella, you can go ahead and add some Wink of Stella to the white pieces. Oh, you know what? Oh my goodness. Did you guys notice? After I told you to be careful not to put it upside down, I put it upside down. Hopefully I caught it before I pressed down onto it too hard. I can move it. As I was putting the Wink, I'm like, that's backwards. There we go. I almost put my image back. So that's the bottom with the little wavy. You guys see that's the thing in the river. So you know that's bottom. Okay. So now you can add some Wink to your house. To like that's like snow. You want it to be like snow. I added a little bit to the water. Not a lot of Wink, just a little bit of Wink Stella, just for a little bit of sparkle. Just like that. Add a little bit, although it looks good without it. Pretty. Just like that. Oh, I should have. Let's see if I can zoom in a little bit. See if it'll let me zoom in. There we go. You can see that? Isn't that pretty? So pretty. Breathe deep. So that's the first card. And it's that fun little fold, and it will stand up. So cute. And it's a great starter fun fold. Just pretty awesome. Okay, so then our next card is using the same designer series paper, but it is a little more of the traditional way that I usually do it. So that means I cut it at the I wipe this one down. I cut it at the 4. Like I always cut my designer series paper at the 4 and 5 1/4, and that is what we're doing here. And let's see, get my pieces out. Envelope, and we're going to be using Mossy Meadow ink and the Minto Black, and we need a little bit of linen thread, and we're actually going to use our blending brush and a bunch of our Stampin' Right marker, or Stampin' blends. I love my Stampin' blends. Coloring is always fun. And then we also have, we're going to stamp on these little bitty strips with my Stamparatus, or you can always stamp it and then fussy cut it out, because I didn't want it to be very big. As you can see, I didn't want it to be very big so that it wouldn't take up like a lot of room on my card front here. So let's see. No, I don't want to leave like looking at it and it's starting to do weird things. I don't know what's going on with that. Okay. Awesome sauce. Okay, so you have to start with a piece of Mossy Meadow, and the other card was cut in the book, like in a book. This one is at our same 8.5 by 11 paper, but I cut it so that it's 11 by 4 1/4, and then it's scored at the 5 1/2. So 11, 4 1/4, scored at 5 1/2, and it's a long way. And then we have a piece of the designer series paper, and I love the sheet too. Although I think I had it on I used just this piece, and I actually stamped the sentiment in the clouds, and then I added some more clouds, and it looked so pretty. This designer series paper pack is fantastic. So if you haven't already gotten like 1 or 2 packs, I would definitely don't wait, because it's awesome. This paper is so gorgeous. But we're going to use this side. And I'm going to add, we're going to add some color. So see, it's a lot of white. So I'm going to use my blending brush to add a little bit more green to it, to give it a little bit of color. Okay, so let's get that out of the way. And then I did also need to cut a piece of Mossy Meadow that's going to be our image panel layer. So it's going to go behind our image. That is this piece right here. And I'm going to, again, add a little bit of color to it. Okay, so I have 2 of these. Here we go. So I can do it all at once. And these are, of course, my 1/2 inch by 4 strips. So now the trick with using your blending brush is you need a little bit of ink, and you always start off. You want to start off your page and then gently add it in, especially with this one, because I don't want to add a lot of color. I just am like adding a little bit of the Mossy Meadow to just take away the brightness of the white on this card. So I don't want like a ton of color. I'm just doing a little bit of it. So I don't want any like real super green, even though it is the Mossy Meadow, splotches of the color. Just a little bit. So you can see I've just added a little bit of the green. Well, I guess I can try to zoom that in a little bit more. So I'm just adding a little bit of the green, just a little bit, to these pages, to the paper, to take away some of the white. That was all. Not even a lot of the Mossy Meadow, just a little bit. And that's what I really like about the blending brushes. You can do a little bit of color. And then I'm going to do the same thing to our little strips so that they match when I add them to the inside and back of the card. You don't even need a lot on these. You could, of course, not cut them, like do the whole sheet and then cut them, but think about it until after. I had already cut them. Okay, and then I'm going to add some color to my card front. So I'm going to load up a little bit more, and I'm just going to add it to the edge. So even though it's going to be like the Mossy Meadow and Mossy Meadow, but it just kind of brings it in, so it's not a lot of color. It's not as much as I'm going to add some more to the edges with my stamping blend to my designer series paper. But I'm going to just add a little bit to the Mossy Meadow, and I'm going to do the same thing to the card base that I did to, I'm going to do to this little, to the panel. It's better to set it down. I was trying to hold on to it, and I got a little bit too much on that edge, but it doesn't matter. It still looks really good. As you can see, just add that on there. And this is something we usually do with sponging. It's very similar to how we used to do it with sponging and with the sponge dauber. I do like that. Oh, so nice. So very nice. Okay. Go ahead and put this away for right this minute. And then I'm going to take my Stampin' Blend, and I'm going to take my light Mossy Meadow Stampin' Blend, and I'm going to use the tip, the brush tip. I'm just going to lightly go over the edges. Just to give it a little bit more defined color, but just to the edge. You can also like drag it across your ink pad too. But I wanted to give it a really sharp color on the edges. So go! Isn't that pretty? Just like that. So now I can go ahead and I'll glue this panel on to my card base. It's a little bit right there. Just add that on to my card base. So pretty. I really love this designer series paper. Gorgeous, 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 gorgeous. I zoomed in, so I'm gonna make sure. Gotta make sure that it's that I haven't so we go to this view, yeah. So I can see to make sure that I don't go over. Okay, so then once I get this done, I need to do my mini piece. And again, I'm going to use my Stamparatus. I'm going to set that aside. And I'm going to actually use Memento Black on this. Because I'm going to color this with my, Stampin' Blends to add all this color. So if you guys can see, I added a ton of color onto this page. And I just used my Stampin' Blends. So I'm going to take my Memento ink and ink it up. Really good. Oops. Okay. Let's see if we get on that good. Nope, I need a little bit more. So my hands are really hurting today. I don't know what I did. That is the best part about Stamparatus, is you can ink it up. Now when I did these earlier, I did not use my Stamparatus. I just used them on a my block. It works good. I'm just having a terrible time pushing it. A little bit more ink on this side. But one of the good things about having the Stamparatus is you can add and keep adding ink until you're happy. Nice. Oh, there we go. Muy bien. Nice, nice, nice. Okay. So there it is. Really nice, deep black. There we go. And then go ahead and clean this off. Looks like it's starting to. There we go. It's like my oh, that's way wetter. It's more moist. The one on the top is actually already starting to dry out. Doesn't take much. We're starting to get cooler now here in Arizona. It's not as hot, but it's still warm. It's usually like warm during the day where you're like, oh, should I put my cooler on? Like, do I need to have that cool on? And then it's super cold at night, and you're like, no, it's too cold. Okay, so then after we get it stamped, we're going to add our color onto here, and I'm going to use, let's see, I got my greens. So first I'm going to use my old olive, and I'm just going to add some color to the trees. So you can see it's black, so it's hard to really see any of the, like, a lot of color. Add it on to here. I've actually gotten a little bit too carried away with the black on this. That works real nice. The green color, and then I'm going to add some Cajun craze to a little bit of Cajun craze to give it a little bit of the fall color at the base of the trees. And a little bit inside, just to give it like a fall color look. So you can't see a lot of the color, but then when you put it next to the background, you can really see it. Okay, and then I'm going to blend. So I'm going to take my crumb cake. I'm thinking now, I don't know if I actually put the crumb cake. I wrote the crumb cake down in my supply list. I'll have to check. If not, I'll have to re-add it on afterwards. I'm going to use the crumb cake just to start it. And then I'm going to use my light old olive to go on top. Kind of mix some of the color. See how that looks when you mix those colors? Looks nice. Add a little bit of this green, the lighter green, to my trees. Blend it up. Oh, that looks so cool. So cool. Okay. Go. So I don't want it to be too green. We want it to be a little bit brown. And so I'm just using my light old olive and the light crumb cake kind of to add the color. Just like that. Muy bien. And then I'm going to take my cinnamon cider and I'm going to add the cinnamon cider. I think I'm going to use a light cinnamon cider for, well, yeah, I need the bullet. I need the bullet point. I'm just going to add a little bit of color to, so even though it's on the black, it does kind of show that color through the cinnamon cider to my go ahead and do that. So I'm going to cover the white here with the brown, so it doesn't look like it's snow. It's actually the wood of the cabin. I don't think I did that. Yeah, I didn't do it on this one, and it looks like I wanted to go back and add that color back in because it looked silly. It's the brown, so it doesn't look like there's snow in the middle of the autumn. Although I guess sometimes there is snow in the middle of the autumn. But can you guys see? Just adding that little bit of color really adds color to the black. Okay, so for this one, I'm going to start with the dark balmy blue. So most of them I'm going to use the Misty Moonlight colors, but I want to add a little bit of the lighter balmy blue to the water stream here, and to the front here. I'm just going to add a little bit of the light blue, and then I'm going to go over it with the light misty moonlight, and I'm going to actually, it's going to put a lot of color down on this because it looks so good when you add the colors. So add a bunch of the color. There we go. So here, I'm going to have to come in through the front door. Just add that in. I'm going to add more of the balmy blue. So I'm actually going to layer a lot of ink down onto this one. So you're just going to use the blues in the water reflection. And then you're going to go back. So you have a lot of ink though. You have to put a lot of ink down. Just and be very liberal with your ink so that it blends. And don't worry about when you go over the edges. I'm going to cut it. Remember, we're going to fussy cut it. So don't worry that it's gone over. Okay, and then I'm going to use the dark to go back over the house. So if you want the house to stick out, just add a little bit of the dark to the house, and a couple of the trees, just to make it a little bit more dark because of the shadow. Just like that. Then add, just reblend a little bit with the light, misty moonlight. Just like that. And then once more. So there's a lot of blending. I used a lot of blending with these blues, but it looks so good when it's done, because one of the great things about these blending pens is that, Stampin' Blends, is that when you add more ink, it really moves it around and bleeds it and blends it together really nice. Really pretty. And adds a really nice, look at how pretty that looks. Oh, so pretty. Oh my gosh, I love it so much. Okay. And then we're going to use, after you've got that done, use my Stampin' Blends anymore. Then we're going to cut it out with your paper snips again. And this time I'm not going to leave any white around the edges. So I'm still going to keep kind of it wavy because I really like the way that is. Like I said, if you don't like the wavy or fussy cut it, you can just use your paper trimmer and just trim down on until it's, make it too much smaller, but you can take off the edges that way. Almost like that. And that. Awesome sauce. And then if you have like some spots that you don't like, but you thought it needed too much, you can always go back with your marker and hit those spots if you didn't get enough. Like there's still some edges that you want colored more. You can always use your blend to do that. Look how gorgeous that looks. Oh, I love the way that looks. Okay, and then we're just going to put it on top of our piece of so pretty, a piece of, what is this, mossy meadow. And then we just glue it down. Glue it down. A piece of mossy meadow. So I love the glue because I can just, so it just gives it a little bit of a border, not too much, but a little bit of a border. Brings out those greens. Oh, so pretty. Okay, and then let's get our card front back in here, just like that. Oh, and then we can just add, we're going to use Stampin' Dimensionals, and we're going to add it to the front. Again. And again, I'm going to use 5 because I don't want it to sag in the middle. And then we're going to put the sentiment on in a second too. And as you can see how pretty that looks. And you could put the sentiment down below if you don't want to put it on top. I just really like that thin, look of the sentiment, and put it on our card front. Okay, and then I'm just gonna pop that down so it's kind of in the center. It's a little bit higher than the center, just like that. See that? Not pretty? Oh, love, love, love. Okay, now let's do the sentiment. So, the sentiment again, I'm going to go ahead and use my Stamparatus again. But this time, it's on a really super thin piece of cardstock. So, and I tried it out, and it worked pretty good, as you can see, with my, where's my camera? Right here. So it's just a strip. This is actually a 1/4 inch, so it's super tiny. I'm just going to line it up again, set that down, and then I'm going to get my, what did I do with it? Oh, it's still in the container. Here we go. Now I trim my stamps down. If you use your Stamparatus and you don't trim down, it's probably easier to use your Stamparatus. I sometimes forget to get my Stamparatus out. But, so I'm going to go ahead and set this down on here, and then I'm just going to snip it with my paper snips apart. So I've got that down. Snip to my fingers. And I'm not going to use the Mossy Meadow. I'm going to use the Memento Black again to bring that, because I used the black for the house, or the cabin in the woods. I'm just going to add that down. Try not to move your sentiment around. And muy bien! Oh, it turned out so awesome. See that? It works so good. So the Stamparatus, I have to go back and add my the crumb cake. So I don't think I remember to add the crumb cake to my supply list. The crumb cake Stampin' Blend. I will go back and I will add the Stamparatus. Even though when I made the original cards, I didn't actually use my Stamparatus, but man, my hand was hurting me. I'm like, oh, I should use my Stamparatus. Love, love, love this thing. Okay, so that's, and then we can move that way. And then I'm going to use my paper snips. And I'm going to, hear that? Let's, I'm going to cut this. So I'm just going to cut it really close to the E. Then cut it between the and and the adventure. And then the day and the is. And then each day I'm going to cut a little bit more off the edge of that. And then I'm going to use the, which one did I use? I think I used the light mossy meadow. The light mossy meadow. And I'm going to go around the edges of my little pieces here. So again with the brush end tip, so go a little bit around the green, just lightly on the edges. So there's the H, day, there's the adventure. Just add that little bit of color. So it's not like, it's almost like adding another layer without having to add another layer with the color, which is super nice. And then is an and of course you don't have to make it this small. You can just do it right on a half a sheet, one half, and then just put it, the whole thing will fit right down here. I just was like, ooh, let's put it on top. And then I'm just going to use my glue and add it directly to the page. So make sure you know where you want it to put before you do it. Have this one above the water line, in the trees. Each day is an adventure. Probably like that. Let's stick to here. Okay. So, as you can see on the other one, I did not do the white. And I was like, why did I not do that? So I would suggest to color the white. And I might actually go back and color the white one. But I had already done all the pictures. Didn't even notice that the top of my cabin, see, is white and there's no snow. It looks so much better if you color it. Just saying. So don't do as I do as I say. Right? Is that how it goes? Learn from my mistakes. I'll probably go back in. I've already done the pictures. It's already all the pictures are on there. But I do like the color on the cabin better. There we go. Just like that. Let's see. I want to make that a little off kilter. I do. Look at that. Yay. There we go. You guys see that? Oh, it's starting to go a bit too blurry. Am I too close, maybe? Let's see. Let me zoom out. Is that better? Should I zoom in? Each day is an adventure. Awesome sauce. Okay, so now let's go back out. Really, that won't make you dizzy. And then we need to do the inside and the back of the card. So I have put the journey using the last sentiment that we haven't used yet. So we used the take time, the deep breathe, breathe deep. Each day is an adventure. The eagle and the cabin, and now we're going to use the may your journey take you to many new and exciting places, which I think is an excellent, well, I mean, for any time of your life, but retiring or graduating, it's a great sentiment. Or going on a fun trip, or, you know, going to the movies. It is Thursday, which is my favorite day. Thursday is when all the new movies come out. Okay, so I'm gonna and there's a bunch out. Dune is this weekend, as well as that robot one. My daughter is very excited about the robot one. And I think the James Bond is still in the theater. So many choices. So exciting. Okay, and then we're just gonna use that. The DSP that I put on the back. Oops, I just added, remember I had already added the color to it before so that it matches the front. And then we need our inside piece. Go ahead, again, stamp that may your journey take you to new, exciting places. And the Memento Black. And then I'm going to add the pretty DSP. The dinosaur's paper is so pretty. It's fall colors. So pretty. And then we will finish the front. Okay, go ahead and add this. To the inside, just like that. Muy bien. It's so pretty. Awesome sauce. Now we can finish the front. Now I had pearls. I think I actually put them away. Silly me. And this month, if you order $50 or more in my online store, you can get a free set of the basic the jewels, the basic pearls from me for free. And I'm going to use the dark old olive, which is another reason why I love my stamping lenses. You can use them to color your embellishments. I'm just going to color. Just don't go down straight and hard because you will break your brush tip. Go softly from the side. Color it. I'm going to color 3 of these big ones with my dark old olive Stampin' Blend. And I'm going to go over it twice, so it takes a second for them to dry. And like your stamp and write markers, if you try it, it'll take forever for them to dry, if they ever do. It will rub right off. But with the stamping blend, you can totally do it. But definitely make sure that it's dry, because you don't want it to, if you want to move your things around, if on the lip, if it's not completely dry, it will leave like little trails of color, which you don't want to do. I'll leave any trails of color. I want it to all be nice. Don't mar your card front. So if you do get the card kit, I will include your 3 pearls and some twine, some linen thread, I guess. So twine, linen thread, a little for your double bow. If you love these pearls and you spend $50 at my online store, you can get a new set. This is like the old one. I think this is my last one that's old. I'm trying to use those all up from when they changed the packaging. Okay, and then I need the thread. There we go. And I'm going to go ahead and make a double bow with it, which is nice. Oh, my husband's phone is going off in the other room. So I have muted my phone, but the rest of the people in the house have not. I don't know whose phone that is. There we go. My husband's on. He doesn't realize you can hear him. That's one thing about my house, is that we have a big great room in the my living room and kitchen, and the computer room. We have like these giant ceilings, and so none of the partitions go all the way to the top, so that the sound it carries it's really good for the ventilation, but it does make it harder if you want to not hear things from room to room. Okay, so there's my double bow, and I'm just going to add it just like that with some glue dots. So where's my glue dots? And mini glue dots, which I love. Move my little tail out. I'm going to use about 2 glue dots on the back of these, just like that. And just add that to your card front. And just like that. Isn't that pretty? So nice. And if you want it to be more masculine, you can always leave the bow off, because it's pretty either way. It's very lovely. And of course, you can add more Wink of Stella to it. I didn't, because I didn't want to detract from that gorgeous color. Look how pretty that is. So gorgeous. Love, love, love. The stand-up blends are so fabulous. And then that's like on top of that, on top of the Memento Black. Gorgeous. The color it just adds. And it's because the cardstock is also that mossy meadow that really makes it pop. So awesome. Love, love, love. Okay. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's reflected, what did I do with that stamp set? Case. Here it is underneath my pearls. The Reflected in Nature double feature. Earlier in the week, I did also do another card. I believe that was also with the Misty Moonlight, but I used that fabulous silver foil, the specialty silver foil that is in the July to December mini catalog. So there's like so many possibilities. These are so pretty. And then again, it's a fun, simple fun folds. And this one's a little bit more avid, but do a little bit more. But oh, look at how beautiful that color looks. Love, love, love. So I hope you guys enjoyed those cards. Just want to give you a little bit of, I mentioned that if you order from me today using that host code until Sunday night, 11:59 Sunday night, I will send you the pieces to make both of these cards. And if you spend in my online store with a 30+ order, if you spend 50 or more, then I will send you a set of pearls as well. If you spend $150, don't use the host code. Make sure you get those Stampin' Rewards from Stampin' Up. There's some fabulous things that you can get as a host reward with your Stampin' Up reward dollars. But I will still send you the card kit and the pearls. So I'll never penalize you for that, but I want you to make sure you get all the rewards that you can. But you have until Sunday night. So Sunday nights, I will, if you make sure you put in that order with the host code, and then I can that way I can cut them and get them out to you, hopefully before the end of the week, next week. So also we have, don't forget, we're still in the sales period for the Gifts Galore, which is the paper pumpkin. The November 10th is the last day for that, and these are treat packages. There's 3 different designs. You can see there's the snowman. I just can't wait. I bet you can make those almost like the same as like those Santa tags. And they have already on back order. I guess it's not, they're unavailable. So we don't really go on back order with our kits, but when the new kits, they're not going to go away forever. We thought they were going to go away forever, but luckily they're going to bring them back because they're so popular. But it's going to take a little bit of time. But those are the snowmans that are really big, like those big tags. So I cannot wait to see. I'm sure I'm going to be making some alternatives, but they're so cute, and I have no idea what the other 2 images are going to be. But it's only $22 to get this straight to your house. You just go on and make it. You can. The links are in this video description and on my website. You just go on and make an account and sign up, and then we'll send it to you automatically. It's really easy to suspend or even cancel if you decide you don't want any further kits, but you're going to want all the kits. But there also, the perk is you can buy refills for your favorite kits when they go on sale in my online store. But even though they're in the online store, you have to be a subscriber to get those past kits, and there's already quite a bit of fabulous things that are already in there that you can see. You just can't order them unless you have a Paper Pumpkin subscription. So that's another great reason to get Paper Pumpkin. I love Paper Pumpkin, and it's only $22, and that includes the shipping. So and it's an inclusive kit. That means you get a block and an ink spot. The block comes the very first time you get one. I think with all of our kits, you actually get the kit collection. You actually get a block with all of those as well. But you get an ink spot, an exclusive stamp set, and all the things to make what was in the kit. So our Paper Pumpkin is fabulous. I love, love, love. Especially if you love kits. Any of our kit collection stuff, so fabulous. Anyway, so I hope you guys had a lovely time. This gorgeous stamp set. If you haven't gotten it, I totally suggest getting it. It's a beautiful stamp set. And like I said, if you need anything, you can totally order at my online store, and make sure you use that host code so you can get those special rewards from me. And I always send a thank you card as well. So I hope you have a great rest of your day. I should be back on Tuesday. I'll be live on Tuesday with some Paper Pumpkin stuff. I'm very excited. I did get my Christmas Peaceful Christmas set that this month's Paper Pumpkin, so I'm very excited. So I'll be back on Tuesday live for that, and I should be posting my YouTube videos for the last 2 days. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to get live, depending on how it's going with my internet and what my family's doing to get those last 2 projects up. But I'm going to definitely make sure you get Christmas videos, or videos on those last Halloween projects. So keep an eye out for that as well. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend. I know it's a late Thursday, but it's new movie Thursday, so it's like the new Friday for me. I'm so excited. I have no idea what we're going to go see tonight, but something good, I'm sure. Anyway, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Happy crafting. Bye.